Hello everyone, my name is Mahmood. I am from Cognizant NetCentric and I'm here today to take you through a demo that we have prepared for yourselves at Riyadh Air. Now you'll see that the demo is based on our solution that we have proposed to you, and we will show you the components of that solution and how it integrates together. Now before we go into the live demo, let me set you the context of what you will see so you can then envisage where we're going with each part of the demo. So initially we are going to show you a customer journey, and we have anticipated that the majority of customers that interact with Riyadh Air will probably go through this journey. They will start off as anonymous visitors to your website, and you'll see through the demo I show you that even when those customers are anonymous, we are able to track their movements across your website and make meaningful decisions around why we would then target those anonymous visitors. Eventually, these customers will register on the website and they will identify themselves. And at that point, we will then join those initial anonymous events together, and we will create what we call a unified profile. So when the customer registers and identifies themselves by giving us an email address or a phone number, you'll see that all of the things that they've done historically are unified together into a single profile. We'll then show you how in real time, based on certain events that happen with the customer, we are able to send out outbound messages. And in this case, I'll show you emails that are going out. But equally, we could use any of the other channels. And once that email goes out and the customer interacts, we also then are tracking what they do with the email. Do they open it? Do they click it? And so forth. Once we have that customer's details and we are actively communicating with them, I'll show you how we then take them on a booking journey. So we will offer them a particular flight. They will click on the booking link and they will book the flight. Once they've booked the flight, there are other peripheral services that we will offer them, and I'll show you how we use several other pieces of the technology we've proposed to promote these offers. And the customer then coming in and actually purchasing a specific product that we have offered them, and how that then influences subsequent messaging to that customer. So you'll see across the bottom there the different technologies that we're using in order to be able to deliver this customer journey. You'll also see references to New Horizons. And the reason you're seeing that is that in our demo, we have assumed that there's a launch partner involved when Riyadh launches itself, and they're called New Horizons, and you'll see the word New Horizons appear on many of the communications. The demo is based on the journey I've just shown you, which is to promote flights to the moon. We've branded the website so you can see how the Riyadh Air website might look and how it reacts and how it's personalized for a specific customer. We'll show you a small snippet of a e-com site that would sit behind the main website and how the customers interact with that. And bear in mind that everything I show you today in this demo is a fully integrated live demo, and it's working in real time. And you see obviously the website, you see some channels, you'll see the CDP, which stores all of the different events. I'll show you the journey itself, how we build the journey, and I'll show you the integration between the CRM system, which is in this case Microsoft Dynamics, and how the website can actually directly interact with the CRM system. And finally, you'll see that throughout the demo, I will refer back to what we call events and segments, and these are being built in real time. So it's important we understand that what I show you today is in fact fully integrated and happening in real time. So let's start with the original um, entry into the website by an anonymous customer. If we first, let's assume that they've come here natively and they have punched in the URL, the page, the home page, as you'll see here, is a generic home page. We don't know who these people are. And we're going to have to accept these permissions in order for us to then track the events that are coming through. So let's accept those. And you'll see down here that it's a generic message, take a journey with us and create your account. Now at this point, we're free to go and visit other parts of the site. I've not registered, so I'm still anonymous, and I'm here at the shop and I can view these specific items. And I can move around the site. So let's go back to the home page again, and you see again, although I've not logged in, I'm still being tracked. Now let's see how that translates itself to the actual software and how that's all being managed. So first of all, I need to go and get the identifier that's identified this customer, and that's known as the Experience Cloud ID. So I'll go into this mode here. I'll go and collect the actual identifier, which is the Experience Cloud ID. See, it's called ECID here. Let me copy that ECID and then we'll go into the Adobe software to see what has been recorded against this ID. So I've copied that. Let's go back into now the Adobe Experience Platform. Let's go to Profiles and let's actually look for this ECID and see what's been recorded against this anonymous customer. So let me select ECID here in the box and then paste in the ECID itself that I've copied from the website, and let's see if we can find it. So here it is. It's created something for that identifier, and if I go into here, you see it doesn't know anything about the customer. All it knows is that identifier. But if I go to events or segments, so let's go to segments first, you see there are no segments because the customer is still anonymous, so it hasn't actually qualified for any segments. But events, you see there are quite a few events, and in fact they're all page views because that's all I've done on the website. These page views are retained. So let's go into see one of these, what they look like. Here it is, it's a browser. It's saying I went into the shop page, and you'll see I was logged out. So it didn't know who I was, but it's recorded the fact that I viewed that particular page. So let's now go and register on this website of Riyadh Air, and let's see what happens when we do register. So let me go back here and click Create Your Account, and this should take me to the page where I can actually register for myself. So here's register. I click on register and I'm presented with the registration page. Let me put my first name in, my last name, my email address. So here, see, I'm putting my email address, but I'll just put an additional parameter on here just to differentiate it from the other emails that I've got here testing this system. And then once I put in the email address, I'll copy it because I'll need that later to actually go and find this particular email address in the system. Give it a username and then finally a password. So let me type in the password here. Again, I have to put in the password and click register. So at this point, what's happening is that in the background, it's going to create a profile for me. And you see here, I need to verify my email address to activate my account. So in the background also, it should have sent me an email. Here it is from New Horizons, Riyadh Airways. And if I go to my email, I can see that I've now got my email and I need to verify that email account. So if I click on verify email and fly to the moon, it will take me back to the website, but we should see it now has my profile. So we have to give it a little time to go back and retrieve that profile for me. And eventually you'll see that all the details I entered are now within my profile. So here I'm going to add an additional piece of information. Let's say I'm from Barcelona, enter Barcelona and I save. Again, this is all being recorded in the CDP, and let's quickly just go back to the AEP and let's see what's now appeared in terms of this particular customer. So I'll go to email now and look up this customer using the email, and if I click on view, it should find the profile with that email address, and if I click on that profile, I'll now see all of the associated data that's been recorded against that profile. So remember before, this profile you see now has an address, an email address, it has an email address, and if I go to attributes, you see all of the other attributes have been recorded. If I now move to the segment tab, you see that this customer has now become the member of several segments. And this is very important. So here we've got location Europe, they're a registered user, they're a new user, they have an incomplete profile, etc., etc. And this is very important going forward, which I'll show you in a minute. But the art of actually managing segments is key to this particular solution. Let's see now how we can drive customers to the website. Here we can see a Google ad. It's a sponsored ad, and you see that the ad has appeared at the top, and when customers click on that, they're directed to the website. So let's quickly go back into the browser and enter the URL here. You'll see that there's a parameter at the end that says source equals Google at the top here. And when we go to that page from that link, you'll see that the page is refreshing, and the page refreshes. It's personalizing this now based on the fact that I am Mahmoud and I have clicked on the link and I've now arrived on the website, and you see it's personalized this piece of content. It knows I'm a registered customer. It's offered me a flight to the moon, and you see here a little bit more of the personalization where it says, glad to have you here, Mahmoud. Now when we get here, it's prompting us to book a flight to the moon here. So let's go and click on the book now button, and we can see if we can book a flight. The page will now refresh and go to the, so in the background, the assumption here, there will be a complex booking journey that will be supported by another website. But for the purpose of the demo, let's click on the book now button. And once we do that, well, the assumption is that the flight has been booked. Now let's go back into the software, into the AEP software, and let's look at the events that have been generated as a part of that booking. Wait for it to refresh. Let's go to segments first then. In the segment membership now, you see some additional segments have appeared. So I'm a registered user. I'm part of the moon booking segment, means I booked a flight to the moon, and the remaining segments that we saw before are still there. So these segments are in the background being populated by customers who are exhibiting a specific type of behavior. If I now look at the events, let's go back to events and let's see what the events have been generated here. You see there's some page views, some additional clicks on links and so forth. But you get the idea is that throughout this journey, we're monitoring and recording all of the events. So I've shown you so far how the software allows me to track behavior of customers on the website or on the shop, and then dynamically add those customers to segments when they qualify for a specific segment. So what's the purpose of doing all of this? The purpose is that in the background, in real time, I'm able to create customer journeys. And these journeys have access to that underlying real-time data. And the data then drives the journey. So let me go back into the software and show you how the Journey Optimizer uses this facility in order to allow you to do very complex customer journeys that can react in real time to specific behaviors and personalize content to customers. So let me go and open up the Journey Optimizer. And in the first instance, let me show you the journey that we've already seen, which was the email that was sent out to customers when they booked a flight to the moon. So I can go into the Journey Optimizer, I can look for a journey, so I can search for a specific journey here. Let me type that in, RA Demo, and then when I click the search button there, you see I have a journey called RA Demo Registration Moon. If I open that, it takes me to the pane where I create these journeys. And these journeys are created fairly simply. You see this one has been made live. It was saved 14 days ago. And in essence, what it's doing, it's targeting members of a particular segment. In this case, it's the moon booking segment. So as people book for this journey, they become a member of that segment, they fall into the journey, and ultimately they receive this email. Now this email, the email has an email editor built into it. I can show you the content of that email in situ now. So this is the email that has been created. You are registered for the moon orbit, and there's a little bit of personalization using the first name there. And then I can actually edit this particular template again here by hitting the edit content button here. This is important because as we see the results of a particular journey, we're able to create and change this content in flight. And any subsequent member can then actually receive a slightly different email which is tailored based on some results that we already have. So I'm going to show you how you then load the editor. So those of you who are familiar with the Experience Manager that Adobe offers, this is the same editor that's being used. And as you see, as I click through, I'm able to edit these particular content blocks. I can change the imagery and I can change the text. I can also change some of the personalization at the top there where it says profile first name. So again, it's drag and drop. It's quite easy to manage your content. So let me quickly save this so I can get out of this editor and then click the back button to go back again. And I think to give you a flavor of how complex this can become, there's a slightly more complex journey that was created, which is looking at, again, segments, but looking at the level of permission that the customer is given. So let me find that one. This is for a new user who's registered on the site. So if I open that one, you see it's a slightly more complex journey. And this journey starts off with an email verification segment. So if you remember, we clicked on a link to verify our email, we became a member of that segment. So if you become a member of that segment, the minute you become a member, we wait then 10 seconds and we send the welcome email, which I showed you earlier as well. We then find people who have visited the shop as well. So they've registered and visited the shop. And at that point, I can check their consents. So here you see we have one arm, which is for sending a push notification for those who have consented for push, or I can send them an email if they consented for email. And in the case of no consent, you'll see that nothing happens, so they don't receive a message. So we can look at the performance of these journeys by clicking the View Report button. And you see here, um, as the journey progresses, we're able to look at this visualization of the performance of the journey. And if I drag again to the right, you see that against each arm here, it's showing me the flow of the actual customers. 66 people entered the profile, 3 exited, and 3 failed. So again, this is a demo journey. It's been used many times, and hence these are not real results, obviously. But if you look at the report, you can work out at which point people are falling out of a journey, and you can then go and analyze that and find a better way of actually personalize the content to engage. And if I go down even further, you see there's lots of other snippets of information that we can interrogate and we can look at to find out what's happening within that journey. At the top there, you'll see that I can run this report against the date range here. I can look at a specific channel here. So if I click on push notifications, you'll see that there were no push notifications, so there's no data. But equally, I showed you the email one earlier. And as I said, you can look at the report date and you can see a specific period within the report and the performance of that journey. Now let's come back to the journey again. Now, if you remember the customer journey I showed you, there was additional targeting through social channels. So here we have an anonymous customer. They registered, they've booked a flight, and what we want to do now is to sell them additional services through the social channels. So let's go back to our demo here, and let's log into Instagram. Once we log into Instagram, you'll see that we have the ability to target customers on their Instagram accounts. So let me log into my Instagram account here, and then you'll see that when I've logged in, I'll find a promotional offer on my Instagram post, which is directing me to go and buy additional services. And this particular offer is based on the fact that I, as Mahmood, have actually purchased a flight, and I'm now waiting for that flight, and I need to do some additional things in order to be able to take part in that flight. So here's the post. It says traveling to the moon because I've booked a flight to the moon, and it's saying I need to shop the moon suits and some additional services. So you see that's my Instagram account. I've seen this post, and if I now click through on this link where it says shop now, I'll be redirected back into the Riyadh Air website. But you'll see in a minute when I do that, that the actual website is now personalized for. I'm going to click through on this link now from Instagram, and I will then eventually be redirected to the website. Here's the website. It's refreshing, and you see now that because I've already booked my flight, you see the page will refresh, and this is another piece of personalized content that's being served to me specifically. And once you see here the refresh takes place, it's saying forget me not in your upcoming moon trip. So it knows I've booked the flight to the moon, and it's making me an offer here to go and buy the helmet. So this was served, and you see already I have got another email up here, which is telling me to go and buy my moon helmet, and I can click on the see offer link here or the visit shop here, and that will redirect me to the shop so I can then purchase the helmet. So let's go back, close this email quickly and go back to the website. And if I now click on the buy helmet now, I'll be able to purchase this helmet as part of my journey. So that's taking me to the shop again, and it's taking me to the helmet item. It's $1,500. I can put it in the cart. Again, this is, as I said, a demo site. We're just going through the motion here of simulating a purchase. So here I've ordered, I've made the purchase, and now I can go back again to the software, and I can show you how that manifests itself in terms of events and segments. Now let's check the segments again, just to see what new segments have appeared. If I now go back into the software and I load up the AP again, you see here I am, my name and my email address with the identifiers. And if I now click on the segment membership link, you'll see that I've now become the member of an additional segment, which is for people who have purchased the helmet. So you see down here, RA Demo purchased helmet, but you see it's also retained the original segments that I was in. And the idea here is that we continue to monitor events that the customer generates, and they in turn in real time become members of these specific segments. And we can then use these segments then to target these customers with very specific personalized communications that take them further into the journey. Now, finally, I wanted to show you a real-time integration between the CRM system that we propose, Microsoft Dynamics, and the website and all of the underlying data in the CDP. So let's go back into our website homepage here, and we can see there's a button on the right bottom corner there called Chat with Us. So this is a direct integration with the Microsoft CRM Dynamics system. And when I click on this button, this specific connection is being made with CRM, and we're able to create the chatbot session. So here it's recognized me as Mahmood Shah. It's saying I'm Sarah, your virtual assistant, and it's asking me what I want to actually query about. So I'm going to click Booking Support, and it says I have a flight on the 28th of June. It's got that from the underlying data. Is it related to travel? Yes, indeed it is. I want to add a passenger, so I'm going to click Add on Passenger. And it's saying to me, please provide the name of the additional space traveler. So I'll put in Ali Shah. I click OK here. And at this point, what it's doing, it's going to use this native connector to actually go and create a case record within the CRM Dynamics environment. And you see here, it's given me a case number. So this is a physical case that's been raised within CRM Dynamics. And the operator then follows that up as a case. Did you answer the question? Yes, I'd say I've been given my details. Do I need any more clarification? No, I don't. So I can click on no. And then it finally asks me for a rating, which I give it, and the session ends. So let me close this window. Now, all of this has happened on the website with the integration, but if I look back in my AEP environment, and I go and refresh my events here. So let me click on events. Let's see what's appeared now in the event list. You see at the very top here, all the other page views are there, but at the top you see there's a new event called Chatbot Finished. And if I open that particular event, you'll see that the data from that chatbot session has been retained. And if I go down, you see the text here, hello, Mr. Mahmood, I'm Sarah. All of that is available to us to then create a specific journey based on the session of the chatbot and how that chatbot response has been captured. So that chatbot basically is a native connector between AEP, the CDP, and Microsoft CRM Dynamics. Thank you for being a part of this demo. That concludes my demo for Riyadh Air, but I just wanted to summarize what I've shown you. So in essence, I've shown you how we record customer interactions, even when they're anonymous. We are able to track their movements. We then are able to join and stitch together a unified profile when the customer does actually identify themselves. I've shown you how search can work, and that is using the tool we've recommended, Sprinkler, so Google and Sprinkler together, in order to be able to serve social content onto the social channels and drive engagement back to the website. I've shown you how we can integrate the website with AEM and serve personalized content based on events that have occurred in the background. And within that background, the back-end system, I've shown you how profiles and event management works within that Adobe environment, and the ability to be able to push customers into segments in real time and then act on those segments within the automated journeys that I showed you in Journey Optimizer. And finally, I showed you a chatbot session, which is a direct integration with the CRM tool, in this case, Microsoft CRM Dynamics. So I hope you've enjoyed the demo, and we are open to taking questions. Please feel free to email any clarifications that you require. Once again, thank you very much and goodbye.